Hi everyone. I'm Goodey, and next to me is Linda Jordan, who's also my mother. But that's what the only introductions he needs, really. For me, it is a pleasure to be here in Vancouver, and I have personally really enjoyed working in different countries. It's not just Canada. And I'll go straight to my presentation. Like I said, I'm Ellen Goodey. I am 33 years old, and I work as an actor, a dancer, and in an office as a trainer. I live in London, England. These are the views from my flat windows. The Olympic torch will pass under these windows in 2012. Well, it has already. This is me in my flat, which I share with one of my friends, Jamila. My main interest and first hobby is drama. A dancer. I work at an art centre. I belong to two different theatre companies. One is called Roma Arts Collective, and the other is called Face Front Inclusive Theatre. I have recently performed in two plays, one of which is called Roma Arts Collective, one of which is called No Barriers with Barriers Bowling Club, which I played 10-pin. Yes. The other play that I performed in is called The Laundry Boy, as you can see up there, which I played the parts of his girlfriend, Zoe. Is that all right? We performed that 16 times on tour. Okay. Right. The Princess of the Graveyard Palace is a play that I co-wrote, co-produced, and co-directed, which I co-wrote with my father, Chris Goodey. I belong to a dance company called Goodey. We recently performed at the Queen Elizabeth Hall. Queen Elizabeth Hall, one of the arts venues in London, and now it's called Chroma. My other work, when I left college, I worked as an office assistant at a learning support service with children. Yep. I now work for MenCap, which is a national organisation, disability organisation, as I say. I work on a programme called Bags of Ability. Again, it's a children's project, which I go out to help on the sessions and help to deliver the storytelling, sensory. Well, how did I get here? That would be a good start.
Not in Vancouver.
Not in Vancouver, though. Oh, hold on, can I go back?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. Right. I was included in mainstream schools and colleges all the way. I've always had good support. And not having to rely on day services. I live in a residential care home. And not having to rely on services to do things for me. My family wanted me to have a good life. I used my person-centred planning, my circle of support. My support helped me to achieve the things that I want in my life, and this is how I spent it. This is my one-page profile. Sorry. That is the dress that I wore on my first album, by the way. I went to my local nursery, primary and secondary schools. They were very inclusive and they were proud to have me as one of their students. Then I went to our local college and studied performing arts. Individual budget. When I was 18, I got an individual budget. Instead of a day centre place, a residential care, as I said, I was given a budget by the local council. That means I'm able to choose what help I need and what would help me. Not my favourite bit. I now get money from working, obviously, from benefits, and my individual budget as well. I employ people to help me. There's Rita, who comes in to help me with my housework, washing and ironing. There's Kate, who's a friend, again, who helps me with my website and stays with me sometimes when Jamila is away. There's Danny, who's my fitness trainer.
We haven't got a photo of Danny on here.
No, we haven't, but he's good looking. I know that already. But
he just got married.
He is actually married now. And a babe on the way. There's Frank, who is a professional job coach and an actor, and helps me with my acting work and other work too. I have lots of best friends. We go dancing, to clubs, to restaurants, to cinema, and to the pub. And some of you have noticed already from last night I like a drink. We also go to the gym and cycling and bowling. I like to be fit. Sometimes swimming and shopping. Thanks. My friends are very important to me, and we all learn a lot together and help each other out. There's a picture of some of my best friends. And as you can see on the left-hand side, my flatmate is also a friend. In August, this is right, my oldest friend, Chanel, was married in Jamaica. I was the maid of honour and witness. Chanel and I met at primary school when we were 9 years old together. And we have been close friends ever since. Chanel has a 15-year-old son who was the best man at the wedding. And there's me with the other bridesmaids, my friend in her lovely dress, her husband now, looks very Scottish, and the best man and the male side on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's me being a witness. Of course, I have to add that 2 weeks before Chanel's wedding, I was bridesmaid for my new sister-in-law, now, when she married my brother. And this is Emma, my sister-in-law. It's me as bridesmaid and the other bridesmaids too. And that's the end for me.
Okay, thanks, Helen. I just wanted to say a few words about the environmental factors that enabled Ellen to have the self-determined life, to have the life that she has wanted and to achieve the things that have been important to her. And I think really it comes under these 4 headings. Family values just means that when Ellen was born and lots of people were trying to make us feel that we'd had a negative event in our lives, we very clearly we made it clear at the very beginning that we wanted Ellen to have an ordinary life and resisted the pressure from a number of people that were trying to tell us that really Ellen needed to be segregated from her community, and in a sense the whole family would have been segregated if we hadn't resisted it. Government policy was quite important. Ellen was born in 1982. And in 1983, we had a new legislation which said that children with disabilities should be educated in mainstream schools where appropriate. We also have, obviously, more recently, the personalisation legislation and direct payments and now individual budgets. So we had a good set of legislation from when Ellen was first born through to now that have enabled Ellen to achieve the things that she's wanted to do. I think solidarity, I think Michael talked about the importance of solidarity, and I think this was a really important factor in our local community. National policy said that children should be included, but where appropriate, but it wasn't a very active piece of legislation. It was enabling, but not a requirement. And in our local area, many parents came together and said that, well, if it can be appropriate, let's make it appropriate. What does it mean that children can be educated together if it's appropriate? Let's make it appropriate. And so lots of families work very closely together with our local politicians, our local council, and together, strength in numbers gave us the confidence to demand that our children had the same rights to be citizens, to not have to be excluded because there may be some impact on those that really did belong. So we had quite a lot of political influence, and also we teamed up with a very strong local organisation of disabled adults. We're a very diverse community. There'd been a lot of activity already around race equality, gender equality, homophobia, and so on. And it seemed fairly obvious that it was absurd to continue to segregate on the basis of disability labels. And so a number of factors in our community made it possible for children to be attending mainstream schools. So I think what you've heard Ellen talk about is that she's led a self-determined life. Ellen, I think you've always made your own decisions. From very early on, Ellen had a circle of support which I think enabled you to make decisions that perhaps you were struggling with a bit, so you had some support around you when you weren't quite sure what you wanted to achieve or how to go about achieving what you wanted. Mm-hmm. So the whole personalisation agenda has been really critical. We've got a long way to go in the UK, in England, as we have for the rest of the world, but I think we've got many barriers to overcome. But I think Ellen, in our community, Ellen and actually probably several hundred other young people of her age and young people coming behind them have demonstrated that personal budgets, individualised funding, personalisation in general, and inclusion are all necessary components of enabling people to lead good lives and self-determined lives. None of them on their own, as Michael said, are enough. So we can have personalisation, we can have direct payments, personal budgets, whatever we call them, and we could still run the same system. We could have so-called inclusion, but people still not leading ordinary lives. So I think all of these things together are important and critical parts of a jigsaw. But the most important thing I would say that has enabled Ellen to lead the life that she's wanted has been about people's values changing and people accepting that everybody belongs, that everybody should be seen as equally valued and valuable and having a contribution to make to society. And those values are kind of fundamentally, they're fundamental and can happen regardless of whether we've got individual budgets or direct payments or whatever. That's just my context. And Ellen, do you want to come up and finish?
I can. Just to wrap it up, really, just say thanks and to all the people listening, to both of us.